It does not surprise me that Tyla's album flopped, because who do you think that you are coming to America and thinking you don't have to go through black women?
Another thing is this: when Black Americans point out that you have disrespected our culture, because yes, we do have one. This is what Tyla's finding out.
Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Mercy and you're welcome back to the channel. Tyla, the South African pop princess who gave us hits like Water, is now at the center of the storm. Well, Black Americans are calling her out and some are even saying they are done supporting her. Well, it's not just about music anymore. It's about identity, culture, and a word that means something totally different in South Africa than it does in the US. So today we are diving all the way into the drama, the misunderstanding, and the big question: is this really a boycott or just the internet doing what it does best? Now let's get into it.
It does not surprise me that Tyla's album flopped, because who do you think that you are coming to America and thinking you don't have to go through black women to get popping? You think that you could just go to Americans and you could just go to like white Americans and sell your album? Because your fans really ruined that black American audience for you. You gonna have to go through black women to get popping. I don't understand. Nobody's bigger than the program. That's how you get popping in America if you're a black artist. Duh, like everybody knows that. You have to go through black women, and then when black women sign off and we are loving it, everything is good, then everybody else gonna like you too. But you can't bypass us. Why would they even know about you if you didn't even come through black women? Black American women, why would they know about you? Yeah, just stick to South Africa. Just stick to, Europe. Just be over there. I don't even know why you want American fans anyway. The way y'all talk about it, you should have just, came over here and said, I know in America, I am black. In South Africa, I am colored. And I know there's a history, about colored in America. And so I respect black American people. And I'll be black in America. But you wanted to, pop hard. Like you had it like that. And you didn't. What they say she sold? Like 7,000 units or something crazy? Oh my God. Not even double digits, child.
Personally, I think the reason why Tyla only sold 3,700 copies of her debut album is because she had too much dip on the chip. Full stop. Can you hold this for me? It's too heavy. She told the Little Mermaid to hold her award. There's seeing yourself a certain way and then who you actually are. There's some behaviors that just rub people the wrong way. I see a lot of arguments about, well, how did she disrespect the black community? Okay, you want to nullify the colored argument, that's fine. Reality is, she had water. Water. And it wasn't because of her amazing vocals, and we're upset that she didn't sell a full album. Is it a visual album? Did I miss it? I grew up with and on Beyonce and Destiny's Child, where you had to sing equally as well as you danced. You had to have some substance. I heard the argument that, she's 20-something years old. Of course, she wouldn't be able to answer a question that they asked her on the Breakfast Club that she didn't know it was coming. The controversy had already existed about the colored debate. If she had a good media team, they'd have had something prepped instead of shutting it down. I just think that she made some missteps early on in her career that turned people off to her. Maybe some rebranding. I don't know. Just my thoughts.
Okay, so there's a video going around, and it's actually kind of sparked a conversation. And that conversation being, why isn't Tyla doing well in the United States market or the Black American market? And before I get into my commentary about this, I'm going to make a few different things perfectly clear. I'm not talking to anybody that hasn't been to the United States for more than a year. I'm not talking to anybody that's never come to the United States. Okay, so if you're in those categories, this video is only for your educational purposes. This is not a conversation with you. Another thing is this: when Black Americans point out that you have disrespected our culture, because yes, we do have one. This is what Tyla's finding out. This is not the time for you to say, This is just a diaspora war. It's pushing a diaspora war. It's not. It's not. It is me teaching you how to engage me when you want to be a part of my culture. So we need to stop flaring about diaspora wars when African Americans try to tell people that this is how you should enter our space, because no one else does that. No one tells Nigerians that they're pushing the diaspora war when they tell people how to enter their space. No one tells it to the Cameroonians. No one tells it to the Ghanaians. No one tells it to those people from El Salvador. No one tells it to the people down there in South Africa when people want to come into their space. So we need to stop doing that with African Americans, because it's a double standard. And also, it's also because it's also because of your desire to have close proximity to whiteness. Okay? Because when white people tell you not to do something, you don't do it again. Right. So this is one thing that we have to understand about internationals. And by we, I really mean internationals need to understand about internationals when it comes down to America. And I'm going to lean in very closely so you can hear me. America is racist. Okay? America is racist. All right? And the reason why you need to understand this is because in the music industry, there are certain ethnic groups that control that particular part of the industry. Okay? If white people don't like your country song, it's not being played. It's not going to the CMAs. Okay? Are we tracking? If black people do not like your rap, your R&B, your hip hop, your smooth whatever, your neo soul, your any of that, it ain't going nowhere. And this is what the music industry knows. Okay? So when you enter into America, we have to label you in a way that we understand as acceptable within this culture. All right? Because different cultures have different things that are acceptable. For Tyla and her team and for other South Africans, you wanted to come to America where racism, Jim Crow, lynching black people, all of these other things happened and was associated with the word colored, and you told us to get over it. You told us this is what we do over there, so y'all need to get over it. That's what y'all said. That's what y'all said. And Tyla thought that non-black people were going to support her based off of the sector of music that she wanted to go into. No, that's our space. That's black people. If black people don't move the units, then Sony, all of these other recording labels, they say that you're not good enough because the market that we're trying to put you in doesn't like you. They will stop all of that. They will be like, no, we can't invest in you because the market, where there used to be a market for you, now there is not one because the market doesn't like you because you offended the market. That's why Tyla is in the place that she's in. She just released her stuff and you telling me only 3,000? 3,000? Y'all understand that I have over 50,000 followers. 3,000 units is what was done. You don't have to guess it. It is literally a cultural misunderstanding. You thought that because white people run everything that they don't have to acquiesce to anybody, but they do. They do. Justin Timberlake made it big as a solo career because he had to pander to black people. He had to pander to black people. Miley Cyrus had to pander to black people. If you want to be in this space that black people had to create because our music wasn't acceptable in white markets. America is racist. And this is something that you don't understand if you've never lived in America. Now, beyond that, it has always been very peculiar to me when people want you to respect their culture when you come to their house, but when they come to your house, they think that they can do any old thing. That's a sign of disrespect. Not only is it a sign of disrespect, it's also very xenophobic because you don't do this to white people. You don't do it to white people. You don't do it to white people. And that's fine. I understand that you don't understand Black history. You haven't been taught it. You also haven't sought to learn it because you don't think it's important. And before any South African or African gets this confused, nobody in America told Tyla to come over here. Like I've been seeing a lot of comments saying that Tyla doesn't need the American market or Black Americans. If Tyla wants to be in the American market, which is why Tyla's music started to be played over here, she's going to need us. Like, you're aware of that, right? You're aware of that, right? And regardless of however you feel about it, Black Americans, Black music, as in Black American music, does impact the world and how the world tends to do music. For case in point, I have a lot of African friends, and a lot of African friends have been listening to a lot of these African artists long before they ever got into the American market, right? More traditional sounding African music, very beautiful music. But some complaints that Africans have had is that once they have come into the American market, they try to make their music sound more American. Yes, that is to get the American dollar. It's called marketing. You can't market to people what you want them to like. Like, that's not how that works. You have a gold market, and if other people outside of that market begin to like it, that's nice, but they're not considered the target, right? The target market means that you create things specifically for them. And that's why Tyla isn't doing well. It's because she messed up marketing-wise. I don't understand why this is not understood, because everybody expects this from anyone that comes into their space, that they understand and respect that space. And what South Africans essentially did behind the whole colored thing is the equivalent of a Black person going to South Africa, perpetuating stigmas and stereotypes that led to and perpetuated apartheid, and tell South Africans to get over it. That is the equivalent of what South Africans did. And that's why Black people are no longer supporting Tyla. That's why. Because it's that egregious. It is a very big cultural snafu that she made. And that's just being honest. So you can choose to take the information or not, but a fact is still a fact, whether you want to believe it as a fact or not. And that's just what it is.
If y'all know me, then y'all know I don't like Tyla because of her personality and mainly because of her supporters. Because what type of comment is this? What do you mean she's more versatile and more beautiful than Beyonce? I'm not going to talk about looks because I do think Tyla is a pretty young lady. But that attitude, nothing compares to Beyonce's personality, please. And then the more versatile in which way? Not album sales. Not album sales. And everybody keeps saying it was 3,700 units. Google says it's 3,100, not 37. Don't give her too much credit. Don't give her too much credit. And I was just like, hold on, let me see what Beyonce's was for Cowboy Carter, the first week sales. It was 407,000. Okay. And you can be like, oh no, but she's American. Of course she's gonna get American, a whole bunch of sales because other Americans love her, blah, blah, blah. Let's add an LMA to the equation, or a UK baddie. She's not American. She had 69 album sales in the first week because what? We like her. We like her personality. I would end this by saying I wish her the best, but I don't.
I think the Tyla situation is being blown out of proportion. Black Americans did not want to see Tyla fail. We simply did not support her. What is the issue? What is the problem? We didn't set her up to fail. We didn't orchestrate anything against her to make her fail. We simply stopped supporting her. I think that's the real issue. People don't like when Black people find something to stand for. They hate the idea that we will pull support if we feel like that idea doesn't align with what we're trying to do, right? Because in reality, it does not make sense for Black people to put support behind someone who does not consider themselves Black. Like, okay, you can be great. You can be a great singer. You could be a great dancer, but we're not going to rally behind that. What we're looking to rally behind is someone who is a symbol for the Black community. If you don't want to be that symbol, that's fine. Don't expect our support. And that's what they don't like. They want us to consume without question, right? They want to be able to sell us music, sell us acts, sell us ideology that does not benefit us. That doesn't work anymore because that means that we're not profitable to them anymore, right? They only want the Black dollar. They don't want to support the Black cause. When we don't allow them to have the black dollar without supporting the black cause, then they're mad. That's where the anger comes from. Because they recognize our spending power. They recognize our influence on white America, right? They see all of this stuff. They don't want to associate with us. That's fine. You can do that. But what you shouldn't do is expect the black dollar to follow. We have a right to put our money and support behind things that support us as a community. I mean, black people finally realize how influential our culture is. And now we know that we are in a position to decide who rises to the top and gets to represent us. And so now we're real picky about who we let up there. But that's all right, though. Like, hip hop is a black space, right? So obviously, you need the black approval to be considered part of it. I don't know why y'all think that y'all can bypass that. Something about that, y'all need to really think about that, because something about that is really entitled. We don't owe you anything of our culture. If you can be great in South Africa. She's going to be great in South Africa. But South African sales don't count towards Billboard. Not in America. You know, it's not many people outside of our community that we support in general, like music-wise. Literally. So I don't know why y'all thought that would fly. You can't come over here marketing to black people and say you don't want to be associated with them. Come on, be serious. I mean, y'all just got to start being realistic. I think it's that y'all think we're dumb and stupid, and y'all feel entitled to black culture and black labor, which is why we even be having these conversations.
At the end of the day, this is bigger than Tyla. For Black Americans, the word colored isn't cute or trendy. It's like a scar, and it's the label used to keep their grandparents out of schools, jobs, and even basic human rights. So, yeah, hearing it from someone they have supported feels like a slap in the face. So, this is why the boycott is so loud, because history still matters, and the pain behind that word is something they refuse to let slide. Now, that's all from me today. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. Bye.